Hi, I'm Karen Joseph, the voice of health and wellness. My business is Beautifully Fed. And through that business, I do a couple of things. I support wellness brands as the voice of health and wellness, supporting them in crafting messages that move their clients into action for their health. And I also create spaces that include teaching plant-based cooking, plant-positive cooking for folks and nourishing them through the food, but also recognizing food is more than just the literal food on our plate. It's how we connect, it's our relationships. And so I also have a co-working space called Zoom and Bloom and the Beautifully Fed Collective, which is my collection of amazing entrepreneurs in the health and wellness space, change makers, and so forth. And we work together on Zoom, and it's been really great.
Diversified Game. Learn how to start, run, and sustain your business.
Hey, it's Kellen, and today on Diversified Game, and going to be on the MillionaireX.ai platform as well, because what is good as money if you don't have your health, if you're not eating right. And so we're all learning, we're all trying to get better. And my guest, Karen, when I saw her, I said, that looks like my sister-in-law. So I was like, come on in over here, and and she just stood out, and you can tell just by her presence that she's probably not eating the nonsense that a lot of us, including myself, sometimes we're at the store eating the candy. So she's gonna help us with our food journey, telling us about the bad salts, about the good salts as well. And all of this came because of her mother, who had battled like my mother and battled and passed. My mother passed with cancer, but she fought for a long time. Beautiful. Till the day she left. Karen, welcome to the show. How you doing?
Oh my goodness. I'm floored. I didn't realize that we had connected that deeply or that you knew that much about my journey into food and my relationship with my mom. And yeah, it's very personal for me. Health, health and wellness and taking care of ourselves. So I'm doing great. I'm really excited for this conversation. I remember when we met. I remember when you told me I look like your sister. And I was like, uh-oh, what does a sister look like? And then you showed me your sister. Like, she's fabulous. So it's okay.
You've tried it your way and you're still in debt? Or maybe you're doing okay, but want to invest smarter and grow faster? MillionaireX.ai gives you step-by-step strategies to ditch debt or stack wealth. Stop dreaming, start planning. Visit MillionaireX.ai today. I want you to be the next millionaire next door.
When it hits personal like that, it's like, that's like some people get on and get off. Me,
And
I work out every day, but I say I work out so I can eat, a lot of the stuff that I want. For you, and I know you have a routine, if you don't mind sharing, 'cause this is the beauty of entrepreneurship, that
yeah.
you got a routine at 8 something, and you're like, I'm in my routine, and I love that. Just tell us about you, and so somebody can get inspired and say, look, I got a routine, but I got to be at work by 8 or 7. How am I supposed to get up any earlier? How am I supposed to navigate my food? Give us the game, please.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I call it my I am who I say I am morning ritual. And it's a time where I pour into myself before I pour into anything else. And it's sacred for me. I've been doing this before I separated from my husband back in 2019. Like at least 5 years before that. For about 10 years, this has been my practice. And I do it, I've been doing it at different times. So today I was still doing it at 8:30, but I typically start at 6 a.m. and it takes me about an hour. Really, if I'm being fair, it takes me an hour and a half to get through it. And what it is it's adapted from a book called The Miracle Morning Millionaire. Have you heard of it?
I believe I have.
Yeah, it's a great book. Oh my gosh, it changed my life. It turned me into a morning person. I was never a morning person, but then when they said, well, millionaires wake up like first thing in the morning, so they could do this, and I was like, oh, well, then that's what I must do. And so I figured it out. And they kind of also like train you in what it takes to get up that early. So putting your phone across the room when the alarm goes off, so you've got to get up to go get it, and little things that actually shifted my behavior so that I do wake up early in the morning. And so now I'm up by 6 o'clock, sometimes earlier. And so what it entails is this. Um, they break it down into an acronym called SAVERS. The first S is for silence or your meditation time. A is for affirmations. V is for vision, like visualize what it is, the life that you want. Savers. E is for exercise. R is for reading. The idea is to be reading something every day that is moving your work, your career, your finances forward, your personal development. And then the last S is what they call scribing. It's basically they need another thing to say to account for the journaling that happens and that goes. So savers. So journaling, and you do it in whatever order works for you. For me, I start the day by journaling because I like to just clear out my mind, and I find that when I first write before I do anything else, like the it allows me to get the thoughts that are like in my subconscious out before the doubt sets in, before well, you can't do that. Who said you could do that? Sorts of things that happen. And you really tap into your pure self, your pure desires. And so I do that for like a few minutes, and then I go into everything else, the meditation, the exercise. My exercise is like 7 minutes long. I do Pilates, I do stretching, and yeah, and I get it all in, and it's been such an amazing practice, particularly the journaling and the meditating. Whew, honey, the stuff that I've allowed myself to process and experience and get through. It takes something. It takes something. So yeah, so that's what I do.
Well,
And wait, I want to interrupt you real quick because what's been great for me, because sometimes I don't always want to do it, at 6 o'clock in the morning. Da, da, da. And so I started doing this on Zoom with people. And it would help me get up because if I've got to, I told them that I'd be there, I've got to get up for them. And I'm one of those people that I might not be, who I need to be for myself, but if I got to be there for you, so I'll show up. And so I did this in a number of ways. I had a program called A Sunrise Soul, where we had women, me and my friend Lori did this, where we hosted a morning program, 7 a.m., 7 to 8:30 every Saturday. For like 2 or 3 years we did this. And 5 women joined us, and we went through the savers together in unison. We would journal together. We would have a journal prompt. We'd meditate. It was such a beautiful practice. They were doing it all online, and they didn't know each other before. It was my cousin, my dear cousin, older cousin, who forged friendships. They would meet up in New York, and they would travel to see each other. It was amazing. We ended that last year, and now the way that it looks is I've incorporated the I am. It's now called I Am Who I Say I Am. And I've incorporated that ritual into my co-working space. And so about 3 times a week, at least from 6 to 7:30, I host it and I invite people over. But instead of leading them through the session, I simply say, I'm doing my practice. I invite you to do what works for you at this time, whatever it is. And so I've got a woman who comes on who walks at Hampton Beach. Some days she is swinging on a swing set. This is a woman in her 70s and vibrant and beautiful. And she's like, "What did you just on a swing?" I was like, "What are you doing?" "I'm on a swing." Love it. So it's hula hooping. Like they do whatever it is that feels good to them. And it's been really great. And I like it this way because it allows people to see what's possible for them and not think that it's gotta look one way. Because health does not look one way. And what works for you is not going to work for the other. And it's really just about doing a practice that makes you feel good.
Are you a successful entrepreneur or one in training? You've got the vision, but do you have the right partner to build your brand, your team, and your future online and off? At cprfirm.com, we offer expert consulting, financial guidance, and life coaching because we believe in doing life with our clients. After all, what is it for a man to gain the world and lose his soul? Founded by Kellen Kash Coleman, we help our clients not only succeed, but plan to retire rich. Your business deserves the best. Start building your legacy today at cprfirm.com.
how much of that is because you can have your shoulders out, you have sun hitting, would you have done this and did you do this when you were in New York or
Yes.
impact?
Yes. So, okay, I'm so glad you asked that because the key is really identifying when you're in your element, what works for you. And what it is for you, what it is for you isn't what it is for me. And necessarily. And so once you find what that is, you create it wherever you are. So I discovered when I went to Cuba for the very first time. It's where my dad is from. Mom is from Jamaica, dad is from Cuba. So I go to Cuba for the first time, stay for 2 weeks, have a blast, decide I must live here somehow. This is 2019. And COVID happened. So yeah, everything was shut down. But was my I was living in New York. So I came back after, and it was wintertime in New York. I came back from being in Cuba, hanging out at the river, doing my morning ritual by the river every morning, doing my meditation, sun salutations, like in the sun, feet in the river. I was like, I must have this life. Come back to New York where I'm living, and it's wintertime, and COVID hits. And I'm like, I have a rooftop. I'm going to the rooftop. And I created like a whole sanctuary up there. I bought a couch, all like, furniture, patio furniture. And I had my mat outside, and I would do my morning ritual outside. And I had my office up on the roof, and it was cold. So I had my blanket, I had a heater, had everything I needed because it was the sun that fed me. I liked being outside. It did something for me, even in the cold, as long as I could be covered up and warm. But I would be out there doing my morning ritual. So find what feeds you and then make it work.
I love that. And I think it feels better when you do have this sun so often. But, New York, busy city, being from there, and your parents being from Cuba and Jamaica, I was going to say, do they get along? How spicy?
Honey, honey, it was, as I say in Spanish, so muy peligroso. It's a little very dangerous combination, but they did divorce. But it's very very flavorful too. So it's all good for me. It's all good for me. And yes, I speak a little Spanish, but for now, I must be fluent. That's my plan.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Duolingo's waiting for you if you're not already there.
Duolingo is one thing I'm using, but I found another language app that's amazing. It's called Language Transfer. Have you heard of it? It's incredible. It's a game changer. It's changing the way I think about language because it shows you how much vocabulary you already have that you didn't know because so many words are similar. So it's been pretty powerful. Anyway.
With the health stuff, and again, I want to make it clear because this is not that podcast where we just have anybody coming on talking about things. You need to be somewhat of an expert, and you have a degree, master's degree even, and your MPH. But did you always know you want to like be an entrepreneur and like really focus on the health the way you're doing it, or because you could get a great 6-figure job also? You get the right connections, and entrepreneurship isn't the easiest thing.
Certainly not. Not for the faint of heart. And it's in my blood. Like I saw my mom do it. I tried to do the 9 to 5 thing multiple times. It's not how I'm built. I don't do well with working as an employee. I'm not a worker. I'm more creative, and it hasn't been an easy journey at all, but I wouldn't trade it for anything. And I think what inspired me again is just seeing how my mom did life. And so just to give you a full circle of her story, she was an entrepreneur at heart. She had a job in the very beginning where she was working. She was a very talented woman. I grew up with her making all of my clothes. She was a pattern maker, a fashion designer. She made wedding dresses, but like hand beading and embroidery, like all the things, lots of embellishment for people, friends, all the things. And she worked for the garment industry. So in New York City, 9 to 5 job. And then her mom got sick, my grandmother, and she had to figure out a way. And so while she was working in the garment district, she was still making the things for families and friends, and anybody would see that she made our clothes. Teachers, she put us in, me and my brother were in private schools, and she ended up making the drapes for the headmaster. The headmaster was like, do you you do all of this. Could you make drapes? One of my favorite teachers had her making her suits, like fitted suits. So people knew who she was, what she did. And so she was doing this on the side while having the 9 to 5. And then grandma got sick. And I was the first to go to college. And I remember coming home for a break, Christmas break, and my room was turned into a daycare center. Like there were cots where my bed used to be. I was like, Mom, what's going on? Oh, should I not mention? Welcome to the week here daycare. So, and before I knew it, it was like a whole production. She had a graduation ceremony for the kids. Like it was the whole thing. So she quit her job, and so that she quit it so that she could be home caring for her mom, because she wasn't going to trust her mom to go anywhere else, and to care for her mom the way that she would. And she did that. So I've always seen her just find a way out of no way and figure it out as she went. And always having, it was, again, not always easy, but she made it work, and it was just natural. It came naturally. And so for me, similarly, it was just doing what you love, looking for opportunities, things that show up, and then creating and building on relationships. She was really great at connecting to people, talking with people, and people always wanted to support her, and she always supported people. And so it was just like this natural, organic thing that happened. And I'm starting to lean into that myself, and seeing that it doesn't have to be a struggle when you really lean into your gifts, and identify what your skills are and where your passions lie, and then let that guide you.
What steps took you to know that you could do it, full time or even part time professionally? Because we got 12-year-olds now who can find money online and they can stream, and they say, "This is what I want to do. All I want to do is play video games." Which there may be something there, but there may even be something more if you get more when you get more experience. But even the 44-year-old and older now are like, can I do this? Like I can do epoxy and I do it real well. Do you think I could do it professionally? And I would say yes, but I'm such a risk taker, because why waste your life, making someone else rich? Yeah, you got to eat. So if you can find a way, but what were those steps? Was it a book? Was it a course? Was it mentorship, coaching?
It's been a series of things, and it's actually been just coming together right now, if I'm being completely honest, because since I've been in transition, so I made the move from New York to officially from New York to Florida, because I kind of came here by accident. I don't know if I shared that piece, but I came here during COVID to kind of peek in on Dad, who I wasn't even really talking to at the time. We had stopped talking for like 17 years when he didn't come to my mom's funeral, and when he promised to, and anyway, and didn't come to my wedding a couple months after that. Promised to walk me down the aisle, didn't come, and I was like, you know what, I'm done. But then when I went to Cuba, I was thinking about him, and it brought me here. I reached out to my brother. I was like, you know what, I think I want to go visit Dad, because my cousin, who I mentioned earlier, she's on my dad's side, and she was like, "You wrote this letter to Dad. I know he hasn't responded. You should just go, go to Florida." I'm like, go to Florida? I haven't seen the man in 17 years. I'm just supposed to show up at his front door. He's not answering the phone call. He didn't answer the letter. He's like, yeah, show up at the front door. I was like, this woman is insane, but she would not stop. She kept calling her. When are you going to go? When you go? I called my brother. I was like, look, I'm not going if you're not going. And expected him to say I'm not going either, because he's been mad at him too. But he was like, all right, let's go. It's like, damn, it's not prepared. So we go, and I see just how ill he, and not just that, but he, like, when he saw it was us, he was like, "Oh my God, my kids! Wow!" And we looked at each other like, "Is that for us?" Like, we were unprepared that he was so happy to see us. Um, just because the man that he was. Anyway, net is I could not. I came. We saw him then. I came back and said, we stayed in contact. I was like, "Dad, I want to come and stay with you for a couple of weeks." It was wintertime in New York, so I wanted to like sneak away to the hot. It's like, but I also wanted to see what was going on, because I was having some concerns about the woman who was taking care of him. And I came in and saw some things that made me really suspicious and made me like really concerned about his well-being. And so I just kept saying I need to stay longer. I had an investigation going. I had to call the Department of Aging to do a whole thing. And in any event, I ended up moving her. I just kept staying longer and longer. Brahman was like, "Are you coming back?" And I was like, "No, Dad still needs me. Dad still needs me." And it's really hot here. It feels good. And then finally, I went home and had packed up everything, and I'm here. So what ended up happening was there was a woman who was taking care of him. The woman who he was married to, she died, and we didn't know it because we'd been estranged for so long. She died 3 years prior, and this woman was her best friend. And oh, I'm just a good Samaritan, taking your dad to the doctor's appointments and all the things. And Dad was living in filth and squalor. And this woman was just coming and like bringing food that he loved. It was Latin food, but just like a plate, a trough of it in front of him, and would leave him at the chair. He fell asleep in the same chair at the kitchen table day and night. He lived like that. She cleans him, like washing up in the bathroom. It was gross. Pests, insects all over the place. I was like, I can't. And so I stayed. And I'm trying to remember where the story was supposed to be going because I'm not answering the question that you had asked me initially. We're talking about how entrepreneurship, right? And why.
Oh, and I'm glad you shared that, and I'm sure the audience would say, and go deeper, tell her all the business. That part won't help you too, y'all people out there. You know, maybe a glimpse, and you can read it in her, upcoming book, and
Right.
and but yeah, just was it who have to get
I
or they have to see somebody to try.
Yeah. So I say all that to say, so I ended up, it wasn't intentional for me to stay as long as I did. It was supposed to be for a couple of weeks. And fortunately, I'd started a new business, risk taker, and I was teaching culinary classes, and we had just switched to online because COVID shutdown happened. And so fortunately, it was online, so I could come here and I was doing my work virtually. And then and it was good work. It was some money. We had just started the business, so it wasn't like a full-time gig and full-time money. Um and I was adjusting to living life alone because I just separated from my husband who had the stable paycheck, who was the adult in the room. I didn't realize how much I required adult supervision until leaving him because my business, though I was doing consulting, I was making good money. The money wasn't consistent. It would ebb and flow. And I didn't realize how the ebb and flow looked and felt like because I had his consistent paycheck. And so it wasn't until I made the choice to live here permanently and I was truly on my own that I was like, wait a minute, where's my money? Where's my money when does my money come? And then the invoices, but you know, yeah, it's been a challenge. And so for the last 5 years, it's been like, do I get a job? And what does an actual job look like? What kind of job do I want? And recognize I kept resisting it. Like something just would not let me go and get the job. And but I did start crafting like who is it that I want to be and what is it that I want to do? And the business with the culinary nutrition that I was doing with my people back in New York fell apart because I was in the space of transition and dealing with dad and being a caregiver now and just didn't have the attention to give to the business. And it was really hard. I didn't want to leave it, but I ended up leaving. And also the way that it was working, it was going back to being in person. I wasn't making the money that I was thinking that I could make with it. So I left the business and then I was like, well, who am I? What do I do? I didn't feel like cooking for a while after that because it was just the energy around cooking that it requires to like nurture me and feel good plus the bad feelings about leaving the business the way that I did. And so I was like, well, cooking is what I've been doing to make money. So if I'm not doing that, what am I? And I became the voice of health and wellness. And it came through my journaling practice, through writing about what is it that I do enjoy? What is it that makes me feel good? Who am I? I'm a storyteller. And so I got my first client who paid me, and it's amazing when I'll tell you this. How did this happen? I told I said I'm with health and wellness. I want to tell people's health and wellness journeys. I got invited to there was a woman that I met at a conference. She's telling me about her work. She says, I definitely want you to write about this project for me. I said, bet. So we started talking about what that would look like. She said, what is your rate? And something kept telling me, do not tell this woman what your rate is, because I'm still figuring it out. And B, I had a feeling that I might undercharge. And I really was, so I called a friend who's an executive coach. Um, And I said, well, how would you handle this? Because she's asking me, like, what is your rate? And he said, you know what? Tell her. So you're since this project is still really in development, and you know that you're gonna work together really well, and you want to work with her to make it the best project ever. Why don't you tell me what your what your budget is, or what do you feel comfortable with, and what you can pay for this, because we still don't even know what the time frame is or whatever. So I said that to her, and she came back with, okay, $100 an hour. I was like, okay, that is my new rate. And it was, if I had offered it, it was, I think I would have put under $50. I would have said $45 an hour. So I'm really glad I was encouraged to do that. And something told me again about this connection, about how I saw this woman seeing me. I was like, all right, let me wait and see. And so, and from that, it's like, that's my new rate. Oh no. Then I told a friend, oh, so I got this good gig right now, but it ends here. But right now I'm making this money. Yay. Then, the next gig, I guess I'll charge $45 an hour. She goes, no, that's your new rate for everything, that or higher. Like I was like, that's how you do it? Okay, bet. So I'm learning as I go. And so now, as the Voice of Health and Wellness, so these are like projects with people who want to tell the stories of their work, of their clients, of the people that they serve. But then I also do voiceovers, and I was brought into a coaching program called a coaching program, and through it I'm getting trained to be a voice actor. So I also do voice acting for brands, which is super fun.
Hello everyone. Join us on an exciting journey with Explore the World Cameroon. London and Sydney will take you explore Cameroon, the heart of Africa. Experience the vibrant culture, nature, and traditions from Yaoundé market to rainforest adventures. Every page na new discovery. Enjoy the Cameroonian food, music, and wildlife with our explorers. This book na true celebration of Cameroon spirit. Get your copy now. Available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and through your library and bookstores here in Grand Park. Don't miss this adventure.
It's super fun, and you're having the time of your life. Now I can hear, some folks online. I can hear the audience sometimes. But you were very honest with yourself and us to say, after your marriage, you had to figure out how the adulting part. And I don't think people understand, like, you can go from your parents' house to college that can kind of take care of, some of your meals, or you figure it out with friends, get married right after that. And somebody else might be taking care of your meals, depending on, who made the most money. That is interesting. And I think that, when people say, can I have it all? Because right now, I'm sure your ex would be like, see, I told her. She's never.
Yeah. Fortunately, we've got a great relationship, so I tell him all the time what's going on. He just laughs. He gets it. He provided stability. It was very rigid stability, because he's Haitian and has his ways. So there are good things about it that weren't, and bad things. But I'm learning. I'm learning what it takes now.
Is that true with all things and all relationships? Good, bad. Yeah, you might as well go back. Just tell him come down to Florida now. I'm ready. Yeah.
Oh, no, I didn't say that, Kellen. That's not what I'm saying.
Drop it if he sees this clip.
Yeah, okay, no, that's not.
When you're doing life, and the stats show that married people make more, of course, because you have two incomes, but they're live longer. Now, not so much for the women. So
see that part. How hard is that? The stress that's involved in taking care of a man, honey.
But service is everything in life. I'm buying.
So no, I'm glad we got here, because the reason why though is because so many of us women, as natural caretakers, we tend to be in service to others and don't think about being in service to ourselves, and don't really prioritize that, and feel like when we do that we're being selfish, and are often sometimes told that when we do, you're being selfish. No, like I get, and I need to, it's the whole philosophy of put on your oxygen mask first. There's a reason why they tell you to do that on the airplane when something goes down. Like if you don't have your oxygen mask on first, how are you gonna help the next person? Like your oxygen is gonna run out, and that's what ended up happening with my mom. She was so busy making sure all of us was taken care of, like everybody, and then doing all the world for her mom, and for us, the family, that she got cancer. And she was stressed out. She was stressed about all things and not taking time to just like do little things for herself. And I'm really thankful that before she succumbed to cancer, she did go on a cruise for the first time. She went to go get her nails done, and she called me. She's like, Karen, I got a manicure. It was amazing. You didn't tell me so. It's like, woman, we've been giving you gift certificates for manicures, for massages that were just like live in a drawer for decades. You never did anything with it. What do you mean we never told you? We've been telling you, but you got to finally experience it. And so I got into this work because I feel like I have a mission to make sure that all women everywhere know that they have a right to take care of themselves and to enjoy it and to do that for themselves so that they get to be here for them and for others. Like your gift to us is you. Like what I want more than anything is for my mom to be here, not to have all the things that she gave and whatnot, just her. And so the gift of your presence happens when you pour into yourself and do the things that make you feel good and that serve you and that make your body feel good. So even the eating and what do you eat? And there's so much confusion these days about what's healthy and what, and the fact is part of why nutrition information is so difficult to decipher is because it's different for everybody. What works for one person is not going to work for you. So not everybody is meant to be vegan, gluten-free, or whatever. Like, but it comes from paying attention to how your body feels when you eat a thing. So you feel good. Recognize you get to feel good. Like if you are gassy and bloated, all that food don't love you back. Don't eat that. It's not complicated, really. Similarly with exercising, I'm on the co-working spaces. This is how I work and stay motivated to do my work. Is meeting up with other people who are working, and so oftentimes I'm working with folks. And I remember one guy was like, "Oh, I gotta go to the gym. I'm going to the gym. I'm making myself go to the gym," and he was like so angry about it. I was like, "Do you like going to the gym?" No. So why are you going to the gym? Because I need to work out. Okay, well, you need to move your body. How do you like to move your body? Do you bike ride? Do you swim? What are the things that you used to enjoy doing as a kid? And we went through like a list of the things that you used to do. I was like, go do that. Find a way to do it. Not everybody needs to be, it doesn't have to be grueling, y'all. It does not have to be complicated. So that's what I feel I bring to the voice of health and wellness as the voice of health and wellness, teaching people how to go back to basics and doing the things that make you feel good, light you up from inside and out. That's what I'm doing.
You've talked this whole interview about my next question, but I want to make sure I get all of them. So if there's something you haven't mentioned,
Okay.
community give back that you do or one that you would like to do, and how could the community that is experiencing this, listening, watching, go over and watch on YouTube? I know you guys love it on Podbean and Apple, but go over on YouTube and go put a voice with a face. What is a give back? And again, how can the community help you with one you're doing or doing in the future?
Oh my God. Great question. So I just launched the Beautifully Fed Collective, and that is my it's people that I've brought close to me, that are people I've been meeting throughout the years, and people just in my life. We are entrepreneurs, we are change makers, health and wellness professionals, creatives, and that's the who. These are the people in my space, and the how, or the container that I've created, is Zoom and Bloom, and I've connected all of these folks who I've met to meet on these Zoom and Blooms with me. So Zoom, like we're doing right now, and I set times that we come on and we co-work together. We're either doing the I am who I say I am morning ritual, or we're coming here. We were just in a Zoom and Bloom earlier from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. EST. And so we're on right now. Hi, I'm in a Zoom and Bloom. I'm in a Zoom and Bloom right now. And some of my folks are making sales calls. Another one is working on what should I say, managing a bill, some financial stuff that she's going through. And so yeah, so we come on and we co-work together. And so I do this thing. And what's been really beautiful about connecting my people together is that when they come to these rooms, they get to meet each other, say who they are, what it is that they do in the world, where they are, and what they're working on. And somehow magic happens where they're like, wait, you do this. So the other day, I had a friend on who's on, he says, I'm the king of entrepreneurs, young guy. And he says, I'm creating an app for students who want to study for the MCAT to get into medical school. And I'm looking in the room because I know one of my good friends is on, and she's a researcher at Johns Hopkins who also happens to tutor MCAT students. And so I see her eyes light up and they're like, wait, what? And so they start talking like, yeah, okay, we need to connect. So these are the things that happen in my rooms, and people get to come on and see each other again and again and deepen the relationship through the connections. And we get to work in community and see each other and get inspired to do things. And we're from all over the world. I've got a guy on here from Kenya. So and another woman who joins us from Turkey. So it's been really, really beautiful. For $25 a month, they get to come on, be in spaces with me, get inspired by my folks, and get connected. And so there's going to be a directory where everybody gets to see each other's names and what they do and connect. There's also a resource guide where we share different events and things, and people are meeting each other in person. A couple of folks in my Zoom and Bloom 2 weeks ago were on, and then the next day we were all met at a live event that I shared that was happening, that one of them told me about. And so they all got to like, wait, I saw you. So it's been really cool. And I want to see more of that happening as it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. But yeah, I'll share it with you there's a membership.
Yeah, let people know how. And you said Turkey. Salam to those in Turkey and Kenya, Mambo, Jambo, Ubaligani, Boasana, Missouri Sana. But how can they sign up for this collective?
There is a link. Can I give it to you now? I'll give it to you later.
You can give it to me and I'll put it in the description. So wherever they experience this, they'll be able to see it.
Beautiful.
I know you sent me a text and I saw the video. So if that's the link, I have it and I can use it. But in case
that is the link. Yep.
Okay.
I was just looking. That's the link. Yeah. Share that with your people. Please invite them to come. There's an application process because, like I said, who's in the group right now is like a curated selection of my folks. And so everything outside, like there'll be an opportunity for me to have a conversation with you on Zoom where I get to see who you are. There's an application process just to make sure that we're the right fit for one another. But yeah, if we are, I definitely welcome you into my container, your people. And you're definitely welcome too. You got to come.
Thank you. And let me put the warning out. If you go to this thing, go looking for some help. Don't go looking for a date. Because I have a couple people here online that I get word back. Hey, they got in somebody's DMs in their inbox, and that's fine. I want everyone to find love. So you got the wolves out there who they'll come with the Socrates and everything, go deep. And it's like, you should have just asked for a date. You didn't have to, play that game.
Yeah, be clear about your intentions. That's all we ask for. Be clear.
Yeah. So with the community, I mean, you talked about the Zoom. It sounds like you always have content for YouTube. Maybe this is more private and personal, but do you have a YouTube or any podcast plans or even writing a book plans?
You ask all the best questions. And you just reminded me I'm not recording any of this and should be. Hold on. Elise.
Well, I got this, and you can
yeah. But even like recording me being recorded type of a thing, I'm learning to just be in the moment of it. And I am I'm a contributing author to an upcoming book about resilience. So where I talk about, I share like little snippets of the stories that have led me from, separating from my marriage to being on my own, requiring adult supervision, and try to figure out, life. And I don't know if I shared, but I'm 52, so didn't expect to be in this to have any uncertainty in my life at this time and what it's felt like, and to really come come through the other side of it. So it's been, and what I'm learning about, the more I share my story, my journey, the more I realize I'm not alone. And there are other people who are going through it, who are on the other side of it, who are in like the middle of it right now. And I'm really excited for this book to get out so that people can hear, you know, my story, and then hopefully have it inspire them and help have them realize that it's okay. It's okay to feel alone and to feel uncertain and to feel all the doubt and like there's no way out, and to know that there always is. And yeah, so excited about it.
Man, and I'm excited for you. You might have had somebody almost swerve off the road if they were trying to watch and listen and say 52. Yeah, that black 50 is different, you know, and it looks all the way until you leave if you take care of it. Don't smoke it up, can't vape it up and make it look like, you know, something. Um, I don't want to give people everything. So I want them to join your community. I want them to be intrigued. And I know we could always do this again, God willing. I want you to tell them again. I'm going to have the links in the description. But for the people who, you know, want to connect or even hire you as a speaker, I'm sure you'd be open for that.
Oh yeah.
Maybe a process and where to find you before we wrap up.
How to find me. The voice.
Do it on LinkedIn. She doesn't check that like that. Not yet. Don't do it on LinkedIn. I'm still waiting.
You already learned that lesson. Don't do it on LinkedIn. Yeah. The Voice of Health and Wellness is my Instagram, and I Am Beautifully Fed is my other Instagram. And email me at thevoiceofhealthandwellness@gmail.com are the best ways right now. The Voice of Health and Wellness.
Got the game. I want you to be respectful when you get the game, because again, some of y'all named, and it's just amazing how we're all just a work in progress. But I think we're, you know, finishing to the end. You guys can like it, you can comment, but most importantly, I need you to share this game. This is the type of game that can change and will change somebody's life. So you guys, share the game. Be blessed. Till next time.
Are you tired of the violence, tired of the injustice, police brutality, rampant discrimination, lack of gun control in this failed biased socioeconomic experiment called America? Or maybe you need a break from the relentless grind and want to regain control of your destiny, your wealth, your health, and your purpose. DiversifiedGame.com has the right course for you. Prepare for my first trip to Africa. Looking to reconnect with your roots, start a new business, or just a fresh start. Africa, aka the motherland, is waiting. Don't let the Chinese and the Mzungus have the fun and also take over the motherland. From Cairo to Mombasa, from Dakar to Cape Town, Africa has something for everyone, from business opportunities to the most amazing people, safety, leisure, and landscapes. The opportunities abound. It is time for the diaspora to reconnect with their roots. Time to reconnect with the birthplace of humanity. Africa is the last frontier. Get your head in the game and reclaim your legacy. The writing is on the wall. Babylon is falling. Give up the stress, grind, and violence inflicted on our people on this continent and prepare for a journey of restoration and joy by connecting with the land of your ancestors. Check out our new course and kick off your adventure at diversifiedgame.com.